Look around you. Most people are terrified of being alone. They crave the crowd, they beg for validation, and they die a little inside every time they aren't invited to the party. But Niccolò Machiavelli knew a secret that the average person will never understand: the crowd isn't your support system, it's your anchor. In a world that's constantly trying to mold you into a compliant sheep, being a lone wolf isn't a tragedy, it's a tactical advantage. If everyone is against you, congratulations. You've finally become a threat. Now, let's learn how to win the war you didn't start. Welcome to Psychology Decoded. Today, we're diving into the cold, calculated mind of the man who wrote the blueprint for power. We're talking about the lone wolf strategy, based on Machiavelli's The Prince. In the USA today, we are taught that teamwork makes the dream work, but in the real world of high-stakes social climbing and corporate warfare, teamwork is often just a fancy word for groupthink. Machiavelli argued that the most dangerous man is the one who needs nothing from no one. When you are alone, you are unpredictable. You have no weak links. You have no friends who can be turned into informants. You are a fortress with no back door. Think about the high-value individuals you see on social media or in business, the ones who seem unshakable. They aren't smarter than you, they just mastered the art of self-reliance. Let's look at a modern example. Imagine a tech startup where one developer is being sidelined by a group of cool office politicians. They stop inviting him to lunch, they talk over him in meetings, and they try to make him the outcast. The average person would quit or cry. But a Machiavellian lone wolf? He realizes that by being excluded from their club, he is now free from their drama. He uses that extra hour at lunch to master a coding language they don't know. He becomes the only person who can fix the company's biggest problems. Suddenly, the crowd that was against him has to crawl back to him on their knees. This is the first rule of the lone wolf: your value must be so high that your presence is a luxury, not a given. Machiavelli famously said, "It is better to be feared than loved." Why? Because love is a fickle emotion that people can switch off when it's convenient. But fear, or more accurately, respect born of necessity, is permanent. When everyone is against you, they are effectively trying to cancel your influence. They want to see you fail because your independence makes them feel insecure about their own dependency. They are like crabs in a bucket, trying to pull down the one crab that's about to climb out. To win, you must stop looking for a tribe and start building an empire of one. This means auditing your life. Who are you letting into your headspace? If you're constantly checking your phone to see if they texted back, you've already lost your power. You are a prince in exile, and an exile doesn't beg for a seat at the table, he builds his own table in the wilderness. The American dream is built on the backs of pioneers who went west alone, facing death and isolation, just to own a piece of the world. That same spirit is what you need to tap into. You aren't lonely, you are strategically isolated. There is a massive difference. One is a victim state, the other is a predator state. Now that you've accepted your role as the lone wolf, we need to talk about your greatest weapon: silence. Machiavelli knew that the person who speaks the most reveals their hand. In the USA, we have this obsession with transparency and sharing our truth. That is a trap. In the world of power, transparency is just a polite word for vulnerability. When everyone is against you, they are looking for hooks, bits of information they can use to twist the narrative. If you don't give them anything, they have to start making things up. And when people start making things up, they eventually expose their own desperation. Look at the cancel culture dynamic. The people who survive it aren't the ones who write long, crying apologies. It's the ones who go silent, continue to produce high-value work, and act as if the crowd doesn't even exist. Your silence is a mirror. It forces your enemies to look at their own reflections, and they won't like what they see. Let's take case study B, the social outcast. You're in a friend group, and suddenly, the leader of the group decides they don't like you. They start whispering behind your back. Most people would try to clear the air or ask, "What did I do wrong?" That is a beta move. A Machiavellian lone wolf knows that asking for an explanation is an admission that the other person has power over your status. Instead, you enter the room, you are polite, you are cold, and you provide zero information about your personal life. When they ask, "How have you been?" you give them a short, high-value answer: "Excellent." Busy. Focused. No details. No hooks. This creates a psychological gap. They start to wonder, what is he working on? Who is he talking to? Why isn't he upset? You have successfully turned their exclusion into your mystery. Machiavelli's philosophy is built on the concept of virtù, not moral virtue, but the ability to adapt to fortuna, luck or chaos. When everyone is against you, the chaos is the social pressure. To win, you must be like water. Water doesn't fight the rock, it flows around it and eventually erodes it. You need to develop what we call emotional bankruptcy. You must be so broken in the feelings department that no one can buy a reaction from you. If a coworker insults your work, don't defend it. Just look at them, wait for the silence to become heavy, and say, "Interesting perspective." Moving on. That is Machiavellian dominance. You are signaling that their opinion is a data point, not a judgment. In the USA market, alpha behavior is often misunderstood as being loud and aggressive. True alphas, the ones Machiavelli would respect, are the ones who control the room without saying a word. They have main character energy, not because they demand it, but because they are the only ones not begging for attention. When you stop begging, you start winning. You have to realize that most of the people against you are just NPCs in your story. They are following a script of envy and boredom. By detaching yourself emotionally, you become the only real player on the board. You are playing 4D chess while they are playing checkers. This is the stage where you begin to invest in yourself. Every hour they spend gossiping about you is an hour you spend getting ahead. By the time they realize they haven't stopped you, it's already too late. You've moved so far ahead that they can't even see your dust. We are now in the middle of the battle. You've mastered self-reliance and silence. Now, it's time for the conquest. Machiavelli said that a prince should have no other aim or thought but war. This doesn't mean physical fighting, it means the constant pursuit of leverage. When everyone is against you, you have a unique advantage. You can see everyone clearly, but no one can see you. You are outside the circle, which gives you a bird's eye view of the dynamics. You start to see who the real leaders are and who the followers are. Every group, no matter how united they seem against you, has cracks. There is always someone who is jealous of the leader. There is always someone who feels undervalued. A Machiavellian lone wolf doesn't need to fight the whole group, he just needs to wait for the group to eat itself. This is the divide and conquer strategy. You remain the calm, high-value outsider. Eventually, someone from that group will come to you, maybe for advice, maybe to complain about the others. When they do, you don't join them. You don't become their friend. You become their resource. You use them for information while giving nothing back. Let's look at an example from the high-pressure world of USA sales or marketing. You're the top performer, and the rest of the team is trying to sabotage you because you're making them look bad. They try to withhold information or mess with your leads. A lone wolf doesn't complain to HR. That's a weak move. A lone wolf builds a direct relationship with the clients and the CEO. He makes himself unfireable. He creates a situation where if he leaves, the company bleeds. Now, the team that was against him has a choice: they can keep hating him and go broke, or they can start respecting him and keep their jobs. This is the Machiavelli flip. You turn their hatred into a necessity. You don't want them to like you, you want them to need you. In American culture, we talk about likability as a skill. Machiavelli laughs at that. Likability is for people who want to be invited to brunch. Power is for people who want to own the restaurant. When you are the lone wolf, your fortress is your skill set. If you are a designer, be the best. If you are a YouTuber, have the best hooks and the best editing. If you are a student, have the highest grades. When you are the best, the crowd becomes irrelevant. They can hate the sun all they want, but they still need its light to see. This is the mindset of the unstoppable. You have to develop a predatory focus. While the others are focused on social standing, you are focused on objective achievement. In 2026, the digital world is the new battlefield. Your lone wolf status allows you to move faster. You don't need a committee to make a decision. You don't need a vibe check from your friends to post a video or start a business. You just do it. This speed is your greatest asset. By the time the group finishes discussing why they hate you, you've already launched 3 new projects and doubled your income. You are winning because you are the only one playing for keeps. The others are just playing for likes. And likes don't build empires, results do. We have reached the final stage, the return of the prince. This is the moment where the lone wolf is no longer an outcast, but a legend. Machiavelli taught that people are naturally fickle and ungrateful. They will hate you when you are down, but they will worship you when you are up. This is the psychology glitch of human nature. The same people who were whispering behind your back will be the first ones to comment, "Great job," on your success. And here is the most Machiavellian part, you must let them. You don't hold a grudge. Holding a grudge is an emotional investment, and we don't invest in losers. You accept their fake praise with a cold, polite smile. You treat them like the peasants they are in your story. You have won because you didn't break. You survived the social winter and came out stronger. In the USA, we love a comeback story, but this isn't a comeback, it's a takeover. You never left, you just went underground to build your foundation. Let's wrap this up with the ultimate Machiavellian takeaway for your life. Being a lone wolf isn't about being antisocial, it's about being socially superior. It's about realizing that you are the architect of your own destiny. If the world is against you, use their resistance as aerodynamic drag to fly higher. The more they push, the more you sharpen your edges. Look at the icons of history, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, even Machiavelli himself. They weren't nice guys. They were effective guys. They were lone wolves who forced the world to adapt to them, not the other way around. You have the same potential. But you have to stop caring about the crowd's opinion today. Their opinion is a zero-value asset. It doesn't pay your bills, it doesn't build your muscles, and it doesn't solve your problems. If you've made it this far, you're already part of the elite few who have the stomach for real power. You're tired of the feel-good fluff and you're ready for the cold, hard truth. The lone wolf path is difficult, it is quiet, and at times, it is brutal. But the view from the top. It's something that sheep will never see. You've just been decoded. Now, it's time for you to go out there and execute the strategy. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for a team. Just move. If this Machiavellian deep dive hit home for you, do what a high-value person does, take action. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the Decoded.